Can you, I suppose, shed some light first on Mitch McGovern if he's sort of pulled up, or how is he your chance of playing tomorrow night? Have you ruled him out?
Yeah, no, he won't play tomorrow night. Unfortunately, yeah, he's injured that slight injury, that hamstring last week, so yeah, he won't be available tomorrow night.
How close was he in the end?
Oh, he probably was going to struggle this week. You know, we're hopeful that he could be right for the following week.
If you were to progress, chance or?
Yeah, we think so at this point. You know, he's made some good progress since Saturday, so it was a reach too far for tomorrow night. But you know, we remain hopeful, and you know, should we progress, we'll give him every chance.
Have you made a decision on who replaces him yet, and is it one you're willing to share at the moment?
Yeah, well, I'm not willing to share it, but we have made a decision on who's going to replace him, and you know, that'll get announced with the teams later this afternoon.
Same with Freddie Smith's replacement. You've got that settled in your mind?
Yeah, we've got Rory Sloane coming back in for that one.
But in terms of that reshuffle?
Yeah. Oh, in terms of positional. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, yeah. We've got some options down there. We had some guys who played some footy down back. Obviously, Dave McKay went back for us last week and did a good job against GWS. We've had Seedsman down back before. We've had Douglas down back. So we've got some options there, which we'll see which way we start.
Just case of just going with experience and stuff that you know, instead of bringing guys back who may not have played for quite a while.
Oh no, it's more about the right balance for our team. You know, as I've said all along, we sort of have guys who come in and play certain roles, and we lose a couple of players with Brodie and with Gov, and we've got to make sure that we maintain the right balance of our team and get the blend right in terms of not only our running capability but also our tall, small sort of numbers and those sorts of things against a Geelong side that we know have got some real strengths and some real weapons.
Just on Geelong, you went 1-1 against them, a loss and a win. What do you learn more from, the win or the loss, do you think?
Well, I've actually played them 3 times this year because we played them in a pre-season game as well at Richmond Oval. So we've had fair experience against Geelong recently, and you know, the 2 home and away games have been the same but different in terms of the way they sort of played out. And we've learned out of both of them, and it's not just the Geelong games we learned out of. We learned out of other games later in the year. So I'm sure they'll come with a clear plan in terms of how to beat us, and we'll come with a clear plan of what we think is going to get it done against Geelong. So that's the joy of this time of year, is the great opportunity that presents to win a prelim final.
Do you look forward going up against Scotty as a coach, given he had the kind of master stroke last week, putting danger up forward and got a lot of praise for that? Do you enjoy the kind of battle of the minds against him?
I don't really think it's about myself or him. It's about the teams and the players. They're the ones who do it. So I don't really buy into that side of it. I think we prepare our teams. We understand the strengths of our teams, and we understand how we want to play and our philosophy about how we play. And I'd expect both teams will have got to this point playing some really good, strong footy, and there's no reason to go away from that. So I'll expect some changes, some subtle tweaks, which is really what they did last week well against Sydney, to their credit. But we'll prepare to play the way we want to play.
Do you care where Dangerfield starts? Do you have a thought of it?
I don't really have a preference. I mean, clearly, he played forward last week and was a damaging player. Last time we played him, he spent a fair bit of time forward because he was coming off, the injured ankle, I think. So, look, we've prepared for him to play forward and middle, and where he starts, we'll just adapt around that.
As you go deeper into uncharted territory with this group of players and hopefully push towards the grand final, what have you learned the most about them as they've dealt with certain situations they haven't encountered before?
Yeah, well, it's probably throughout the whole season, to be honest. I mean, with the end of last year, as I said, we sort of sat back and assessed where we were at and where we thought we needed to improve, and we've had some key opportunities this year to challenge ourselves in certain areas and certain spaces, and the guys have accepted those challenges, and the finals presents another one. And that's the beauty of the position we find ourselves in, is we've created this opportunity, and now it's about taking it. And as I said before, to take it is really to stay true to how you want to play and back in and trust the system that we've played under, and that belief that they built by playing that way.
Don, Chris Scott made the point yesterday that Sydney play a more one-on-one defence, which they've exploited beautifully. Yep. You're more a team defence.
Yep.
How much did you really drill into what Danger did, especially in that first half, and how much of it is more just reinforcing the way you guys want to play?
Yeah. Well, look. So we look at the games. Obviously, the last 2 games, and we played Geelong in round 18, so it's not that long ago. And the last 2 games, obviously played Richmond, who probably play a more team defence. Certainly their forwards are more swarming forward types in terms of their pressure, whereas Sydney are a bit more one-on-one. So there is a slight difference, and we've always spoken about our team defence, and so our positioning and how we set up and how we want to play is going to be one component. But the reality is finals comes down to the contest, and it comes down to winning it where it counts, and that's through the midfield, and that battle becomes pivotal in most games. And that was where, you know, as much as last week Sydney won a bit from the clearance, I think, around the general contest, Geelong got on top, whereas the week before it was probably Richmond. So we expect that to be, you know, the case again tomorrow night.
How proud are you of the midfield, just given that there was a big knock on them, you know, throughout the pre-season, that they might not be good enough to stand up after a minor premiership and getting this far? How proud are you of the midfield?
Oh, they've taken great strides, which is fantastic, and that's, you know, again, as I said at the start of the season, we as coaches are here to try and make all of our players get better. Otherwise, we're not doing our job. And, you know, to the credit to the guys who've worked, you know, closely with the midfield group, they've done a fantastic job, and the midfield guys have really embraced the opportunity. And sometimes you don't know what people are capable of until they're given that opportunity. And some of those guys feel that they've actually stepped in and gone, you know, I'll take my game to the next level with a bit of trust, a bit of belief in them, and then the work they've put in. So, you know, they've been a strong part, as the backs and the forwards have, and we're not a group that relies on one player or one group of our team to win games of footy. So they're going to be another, you know, important part again tomorrow night.
What about you as a coach, Don? I know you said you don't want to talk about yourself as the team wins it, but talk about player improvement. Yourself as a coach over the last nearly 2 years, do you feel more comfortable in the role going into a prelim now?
Yeah, never really feel comfortable. You probably get to a point where you continue to learn, and I continue to learn about myself, about the philosophies, about how we want to play, and about our playing group. And you probably end up with more situational awareness in terms of some games that you've coached in, that some things that have worked and some things that haven't worked. And that's the beauty of our game. You know, if you talk to Mick Malthouse, who's coached over 800 games, I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have been learning his last 10, because there's always different situations that come up. And tomorrow night could be one of those, and we'll have to, as a coaching group, and it's not just about me, it's about our coaching group, how we adapt, how we can message something clearly to the players to allow them and give them the tools to go about playing and trying to win a game of footy. So, yeah, that's how I sort of look at it.
So do you ever feel comfortable, or you just sort of coach,
play
on the edge the whole time?
I'll just coach to try and win tomorrow night. That's what we're about. You know, we think we've got enough sort of history at the moment throughout the year to suggest that our best is good. Now we need to produce that tomorrow night against a quality opposition, and if we can do that, we'll be in the game.
Don, just back to selection, is it just the 2 changes, just one replacement?
Yeah, I probably won't go into a whole lot of detail in terms of our selection. We'll leave that till we announce the teams, if that's all right.
As a coach, Don, is Patrick Dangerfield the hardest player you've had to kind of, I guess, think about, you know, tactically this year? Is he the hardest kind of player to come up against, do you think?
Oh, no, he's a very good player, and we recognise that, and he's you know, strong both around the ball as a midfielder and as a forward. But you know, Geelong's not all about just him. I mean, there's other players in there that have, you know, if you look at last week's game, you know, Motlop and Duncan were pretty significant for them through the midfield, as well as the roles that the Selwoods, Joel and Scott and Blixabs were doing as well. So, you know, they've got quality in all lines, and you don't make it through to a prelim final without having a deep array of talent. So it's not all, from our viewpoint, it's not all purely focused on one player.
Tom, where do you sit on the debate between well-rested and underprepared, given, you know, Rory 26 days and Tex one game in so long, and where does that sit with you as a coach? Well,
the Rory one's just one of those things we couldn't do anything about, you know, the appendix side of things. And one thing I will say is that he's looking forward to tomorrow night. He's not short on energy, Rory, so he's going to be ready to go. And he's trained on, and as Tex has. And we're really mindful, to be honest, after the first, you know, the win against GWS, we understood we had 15 days to prepare for this game. And that's why we took the path we took, was to not only try and freshen the players a bit physically and mentally, but also to then train them up to be ready to perform tomorrow night. So the temptation is to probably try and go a bit easy and just sort of cruise your way through to the next week. Well, we've probably taken a slightly different view, as we want to train with a level of intensity and purpose that has got our guys ready to play, given that we're not able to get a game in those in-between weeks.
Is there a danger there with footy? Like with, you know, cricket, you can have so many net sessions, but it doesn't prepare you. Golf, you go to the range. Where does it sit with football, do you think?
Again, we'll find out. That's the unknown, and I guess we've, you know, got the two. This is our second game in, as you say, 20 odd days. But we think from a program viewpoint, we've got the balance right, and we'll find out tomorrow night. But we're certainly very confident with the numbers our players have run and how we've trained and the intensity we've trained at. That you can't replicate a game, but ultimately it's going to be about preparing them to perform, and we think we've given them every chance to do that.
Well, how important was that match sim session you had on Saturday, just to get the guys?
Yeah.
You're right, like you said before, there's that sort of prep there.
Yeah, and it needs to be, because they're in the groove of actually competing. And playing, and when you get out of that groove, sometimes you don't quite come back into it. We had a situation earlier in the year against Collingwood. We came off a 9-day break and we sort of backed the group off, and to be honest, we didn't come out and play anywhere near the level we'd played the previous week. So we're mindful of that, but again, these are the things we learn. As you go throughout the year, you don't pull every right rein. You find at times you might have got something wrong. Now, again, we don't know until tomorrow night, but we're very confident that the way we've trained in the following 2 weeks after the qualifying final puts us in a good spot for tomorrow night.
You talk about that Collingwood game, is that the one that ended in a draw? You can't
Yeah.
remember the wet sale?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I imagine there's some lessons, important lessons there.
Yeah.
The fact that you really ran out the game so well would have told you a bit about, what works, what doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. And again, on that particular day, we probably didn't jump out and play quite in the space we wanted to play, and that's credit to Collingwood. But to the guys' credit, they were able to respond in the second half and eke out a draw. So, look, hopefully we don't come out like that again tomorrow night. I think the guys, again, we learn those lessons and we understand what's going to create winning, and the players have got a clear picture in their head about what that's about.
How important is a full house tomorrow night, and just a really strong atmosphere from Crows fans?
Yeah, well, it's the benefit you get of having a home prelim final, is that we're going to get 53,000, screaming Crows fans who are going to be behind their team, and that's not to be underestimated. We've seen the power of that a little bit with Richmond, with their run, and the fact that they fill up the MCG with all their supporters. So that's a great strength to us. But the reality is the game will be won on the field. So it'll be something which is great for our players to be A, playing at home, B, have the support of all of our fantastic members and fans. But we've got to get it done on the field.
Why are prelims so hard to win, Don? Is it the carrot of what's at the end of it? I mean, you might have played one, I think, from 1941, won by 20 goals, but why are they so hard?
Oh, I think the prize. I mean, at the end of it, everyone knows what they're playing for. You're playing for a spot in the grand final. I think it's, again, you're also talking about finals footy is generally about playing good, hard, aggressive team footy, and that's what wins games. And tomorrow night will be no different.
With how the team, it's been discussed a lot, how the team stood before the national anthem or during the national anthem against the Giants 2 weeks ago. We do the same thing tomorrow night, and is it disrespectful to the national anthem, do you think?
No, we certainly wouldn't disrespect the national anthem, and I think how we stood was how we stood, so we'll see what we do tomorrow night.
Do you expect the fans might now adopt that, 55,000 Crows fans in a town?
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest, but anyway, we'll see.
Have you sourced any extra inspiration? Sometimes you talk about looking at other sports, and it's not till you're on a Sunday in a golf tournament do you realise how you're going to perform. Have you drawn any inspiration from elsewhere for the guys this week? Oh,
we always use certain bits and pieces, but nothing particularly comes to mind. I mean, I think this time of the year, we've reached this position by playing the way we've played, by backing each other in and backing in our system, and I'll be very reluctant to change too much in that space. For one game, which is an important game, but ultimately for us, it's going to be another game of footy that we have to play. As I said, good, strong, competitive footy to get a result. So, great opportunity. Look forward to it. Excited by it, and we can't wait to get on tomorrow night.
Thanks. I was asking about, one more about Brodie Smith. What have you asked both him in the past fortnight and his demeanour, and what is? Yeah,
well, look, obviously Brodie's clearly very disappointed. It's this time of year, any time of year, suffer that sort of injury is for a player who loves playing and is obviously a great player for us. But he's been really stoic, to be honest. He was in this morning. He was in the backs meeting this morning with them, providing his insights. He's obviously a player of great experience and well regarded by the players. There's a good understanding of the game. So he'll have a minor role on game day and be involved with those guys. And he's as keen as anyone to see us have success. Which says a lot about him as an individual. That he's, from a team viewpoint, as disappointed as he is, he's still right behind the team and wants them to go as far as we can.
Is it too corny to say that he could be inspirational to his mates?
I think more the fact that he's just there to support them, is what they'll appreciate. And again, it's a two-way street, because they're sitting there going, well, they're given an opportunity to do something which, ideally he'd like to do, and 2 weeks ago he was able to do, and he can't now through injury. So I think they'll understand that there's a bit of feeling for Brodie.